Despite the victory in the last game, hell wasn't finished. It just waited. Waited for the blood to dry, for the nightmares to take root, for the last man standing to let his guard down. But he never did. Doomguy returned from the brink only to find peace was a lie. The demons he ruthlessly hunted didn't die. They just hid, mutated, resurrected, and in their shadow, something worse began to stir. This is the complete story of Doom 64, the final chapter in the first trilogy of Doomguy's journey. It's a tale of isolation, obsession, and a war so personal, even hell can't comprehend it. On Earth, Doomguy fought through the demon invasion without rest, wiping out everything hell threw at him. After he cleared the spaceport and shut down the force field, civilians were able to escape Earth. With the evacuation complete, Doomguy stayed behind as a message came from Earth's last survivors. They had discovered the source of the demonic invasion emanating from Doomguy's home city. If Doomguy could reach it, he could close the Hellgate. So he went. The city was nothing but a war zone. Doomguy pushed through, reached the gates, and found it couldn't be shut from the outside. So he entered Hell once again. Hell was worse than before, more twisted, more violent. The demons came at him harder, faster, but he didn't slow down. He fought his way to the source, a massive demon called the Icon of Sin. Doomguy unloaded rocket after rocket into its brain until it finally died. With that, the invasion ended, and Doomguy stood alone, surrounded by ruin. The war was finally over, and now it was time to rebuild. It's unknown how much time had passed, be it days, months, or maybe even years, but in the aftermath of Hell's invasion, Doomguy's exhaustion was immeasurable. Hell was never meant to be seen by mortal eyes, and he had seen the worst of it. The military doctors ran their countless tests on him and prescribed their treatments, but none of it helped. The nightmares never stopped. Demons, countless, relentless, surged through his mind in an endless tide. In the wake of the invasion, humanity's new policy had been absolute. Any site that saw a demonic incursion was quarantined and sealed off beneath layers of apocalyptic levels of radiation, and all bases that had been testing interdimensional travel were abandoned and left to rot. This demonic cleansing operation was codenamed Doom. By the end of this operation, humanity thought it was finally over and they were free from demonic incursions. But in this universe, good things don't tend to last. Deep in space, a forgotten and half-dead satellite relay sputtered to life and sent a final, desperate message to humanity. From the void, strange energy signatures began to appear, unlike anything ever recorded. Investigating, humanity reopened their classified archives and uncovered a chilling truth. They missed one. A powerful demonic entity had survived, an archvile barely clung to life after encountering Doomguy. Even though the demon didn't seem to have much of a chance of surviving with the many bullet holes in its gut, it somehow lived. The archvile healed and slowly started resurrecting its demonic allies, hidden from detection by the intense radiation left behind. In its crippled state, it began reanimating the dead, mutating and warping the decayed flesh into something far worse. The demons weren't gone. They were coming back, stronger, meaner, and more vicious than ever. Knowing humanity only had one weapon left that could end this invasion before it even began, they called upon the only surviving veteran of the original Doom operation. And Doomguy jumped at the opportunity to be called back into action. They kept his orders simple: the merciless extermination of all demons. Arriving at the station, which was likely on Mars, Doomguy is relentless as he rips and tears his way through the demonic forces. After clearing out the terraformer, main engineering bay, and research lab, Doomguy discovers a familiar sight, a gateway to Hell. The demon's domain was strangely far too accessible, and Doomguy realized that the demons were trying to mock him with their invitation. But it didn't really matter to him. Screaming like a madman, Doomguy dives into the portal and lands in a deeper, more hostile part of Hell. It's more twisted, aggressive, and unrelenting. He is immediately attacked by wave after wave of demons more numerous and mutated than ever before. Pushing through corrupted landscapes and traps, Doomguy doesn't stop, and he doesn't retreat. The demons grow more desperate as he moves, deeper and deeper into Hell, slowly realizing they're not fighting a man, but a force of nature. He eventually uncovers signs of a central force behind the chaos. The mutated archvile now known as the Mother Demon. She's not just leading the invasion, she's resurrecting and evolving demons into something worse. When Doomguy reaches the Mother Demon, the final battle is intense, with overwhelming odds and non-stop attacks from hordes of demons. After slaying them all, Doomguy finally kills the Mother Demon and ends the invasion before it even began. Standing in the silence, bleeding and exhausted, Doomguy then makes a final decision. Instead of running away from the nightmare, he chooses to embrace them and stay in hell. Not to escape torment, but to ensure no demons ever escape again. But the story doesn't end there. After taking down the Mother Demon, Doomguy rampaged through hell with righteous fury. We don't know how long he was in hell, but his unguided demon-killing fury eventually found a new target, the supposed sister of the mother of all demons, known only as the Resurrector. She attacked Doomguy and teleported him back to his own reality on an abandoned outpost on the dwarf planet of Sedna, attempting to finish him off for good. He then tore through the base, carved a bloody path to a hidden portal to hell, and launched himself right back into the Inferno. In this new slice of hell, he hunted the Resurrector and gave her the brutal payback she had coming. After the Resurrector's defeat, Doomguy was suddenly torn from hell once more. But whatever pulled him into this new reality, he didn't care. All that mattered was getting back to hell. More demons needed to die. Doomguy saw a grim vision of demon carcasses smoldering in his wake. He saw a path of unending torment, a path that winds through doom itself, and he knew that he needed to rip and tear until it was done. So, like I said, this is the conclusion of the original arc of Doomguy. He started as a simple space marine, became a savior, and ended up with a broken mind and an unquenchable thirst for demon blood. Doomguy, at this point in his story, isn't a soldier. He's a broken war machine. After saving Earth, he was far too messed up to return to normal life. PTSD, trauma, nightmares, it's all there. Nothing could have saved him from the torment. And in the end, his only form of catharsis was to stay in hell, because he realized the only peace he could find is through violence. Doomguy keeps getting yanked back and forth between hell and reality, which kind of mirrors the inability to ever find a solution to his trauma. There's always another demon, another invasion, another reason to fight. It just never ends. Doomguy isn't fighting to win anymore. He's fighting because it's really all he knows now. He's not the hero walking off into the sunset. He chooses to stay in the fire, because the moment he stops, the silence creeps in. The memories flood back. The demons in his head are probably far worse than the ones in hell, and at least the ones down there can bleed. His transformation from man to myth isn't a reward, it's more like a sentence. He's no longer driven by duty or vengeance. He's becoming something else. A force that only exists to rip and tear, and in doing so, he loses whatever was left of the man beneath the helmet. Think about it, Doomguy could have escaped, could have walked away after killing the Mother Demon, but he didn't. He looked hell in the eyes and said, "Nobody leaves until I say so." That's not survival instinct, that's kind of like obsession or a self-inflicted damnation. At that point, Doomguy becomes something hell itself fears. He's not trapped anymore. He's really more like a hunter. Every portal that opens is another chance to dive headfirst into oblivion. Not to end the invasion, but to feed the fire that keeps him from breaking apart. This isn't just the end of the original arc, it's the origin of the Slayer. The unkillable, unstoppable avatar of violence we meet in the current iteration of Doom? Yeah, that's this guy. Those games are not a reboot, it's the inevitable evolution of his character. This is where Doomguy's original story ends. Not with a happy ending, not even with a real conclusion. Just endless war. He started as a man, became a legend, and ended as a monster to the monsters. He didn't save the world for glory. He didn't keep fighting because he had to. He kept going because stopping meant facing himself. And that was the one thing he couldn't do. Hell didn't break Doomguy. It defined him. And he embraced it. Because Doomguy did more than just end demonic invasions. He became a nightmare.